this is Mr. Loose, and your technique of the week is line. So line is the first element of art, and just a refresher, the elements of art are your ABCs for making and understanding art. So as long as you are aware of the different types of lines that you can make or see in artwork, it will really help you in the long run. So a line basically is just a dot that moves, or a mark that moves. So for example, if I put my pencil down and I just move it, it creates a straight line. So you can do this with a pencil, with a marker, crayon, paintbrush, or even your finger in the sand. But when you put that utensil down and then you drag it, it creates a line. Now, depending on which direction you drag the brush, pencil, or your finger, depends on the different types of lines. So here I just made a straight line. If I do this, I create a swirly, squirly, wiggly line. Okay? Another one I can do is I can make it look like my pencil's bouncing, like doo-doo, 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 and it creates a bumpy line. Another one I can do is a zigzag line. So those are just 4 of the simpler types of lines that you can do. I can also do a broken line, which basically looks like a line that somebody went in and erased every now and then, creating little spaces. So that's a broken line. All right. Another one I can do is I can do this bumpy line upside down, also known as a scallop line, which gives the illusion of waves on the water. So that's pretty cool. Another one I can do is this line where I make a little box or a little square in between the straight line. So go straight line, box, straight line, box, straight line, box. All right, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, if with any line you could do this, but I'm just going to do it with a straight line, you can make what is called a thick line or a bold line. And a lot of times you see thick or bold lines to draw extra emphasis to something, to really make it stand out or draw your attention. And the thicker you make it, the more people are going to notice it. And so, and you could have thick wavy lines or zigzag lines or broken lines, but I just did a thick straight line as my example. Okay, so those are just some of the basic lines that you could do. Another one you could do is when you get 2 straight lines and you put them right next to each other, and it creates a parallel line. That is also another great way to get people's attention, or to use in math as well, of course. And another one that you might see in math is a diagonal line. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a swirl or swirly line. And a lot of animators will use this in the eyes of their characters to give the illusion of being confused or dizzy, or you might even think of like water going down the toilet, like that's kind of, or a whirlpool. So that's a swirly line, so that's pretty fun. You also have a curved line, and if I was to finish that, it would make a circle, which then creates a shape. And then, of course, my favorite, a crazy line. In a crazy line, there's no exact way of doing it. There's no right or wrong. You just put your utensil down and just go crazy, and it creates a crazy line. All right. Now, the awesome thing about lines is that there are so many different things that you can do with them. For example, if we look here in this picture, in this old ad, there are a bunch of thick lines that create the stripes of the American flag. But then you also have the outline of the Liberty Bell. This is all an outline, okay? That's all that is. Somebody actually drew this ad for this magazine. So it's just an outline. You even have an outline that goes around the edge right? And it's kind of a curved line, and there's two of them, so they're parallel. And that creates a thickness, which makes a border or draws your attention. Even the lettering are different types of lines, okay? Like the words and the typing, that's all different types of lines. Another example of lines is like in this pretty patterned paper, okay? It's supposed to look like wood flooring, but all it is a bunch of lines. They didn't take a picture of a floor. They didn't have to do anything super complicated. They just put a bunch of different types of lines and layered them on top of each other to give the illusion of a wooden floor. And once again, just simple letters and numbers are different types of lines. Look, here is a bumpy line. Here's an unusual crazy line. And then here are two little straight lines. So they're everywhere. And what you do with those lines is what creates different types of art. And one thing that's really interesting about art, like we saw in the American flag in the paper that looked like a wood floor, is when you do the same thing over and over, it creates something that's called a rhythm. And rhythm is when whatever you're making repeats or looks like it moves. So we know after the straight line comes a triangle, and then a straight line, and then a triangle, and then a straight line, and then a triangle. And if I covered the rest of this up, you would know what comes next. You know what to expect. It repeats, and that is called a rhythm. We can also do it without having the lines actually up against each other. You just have like a bunch of curved lines next to each other, and it repeats. And it once again looks like this is moving, like a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like a sonar. And you can also do that with a bunch of scallop or wavy lines to give the illusion of water, or you can do a bunch of lines together like this. But what's also interesting is it creates a visual texture. It kind of looks like scales or something scratchy like sandpaper or something. So those are all of these really exciting and different things that you can do with lines. It's so simple, but yet the possibilities are endless.